welcome to this very special broadcast. I am Ridhima Bhatnagar and I have a very special guest in conversation with me. I have Arjun Mathur, who's taken out the time. He's been kind enough to join us for a very special conversation in the back of the success Made in Heaven Season 2 by Zoya Akhtar and the fantastic cast that has come together. Arjun, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Arjun, I know you're busy, you're out of the country, and you've still been kind enough to take out the time for us. I want to first begin by understanding there was a lot of anticipation for season two because the gap was quite a bit. You know, we all went through the pandemic in between, the world changed upside down for a lot of people. So I want to understand, what was the process for the shooting also between season one and season two?
The thing is, when we finished shooting season one, um, there was not really a plan for a season two as such. And it's only after it released and when the audience feedback and reaction response came that everyone realized that, oh my God, we need to do a season two. And then they started writing it. Now, in writing it, of course, you need to spend time writing it. You can't, you're not like making fast food.
Yeah.
So the writing took some time. And then by the time we were coming around to being ready to shoot, it was we were set to shoot in I think April 2020, and in March 2020 things went to shit. Um, so that already delayed us by a whole year. But we started eventually in Feb 2021, and then we had multiple shutdowns. We had a second wave, we had a third wave. Even while we were shooting, there were so many restrictions about how many people you could have on set, and an actor would have to travel and then isolate and all this. There was a lot of time and resource that was being given to just COVID management, and dates, because if like if there was a delay and one actor kind of lost a date, then they suddenly the whole uh, uh, schedule would be thrown out of um because every episode has combinations of dates from many actors, different actors for every episode. So there were just many hurdles, to be honest. And we were planned it was planned as a 6 to 8 month shoot max. Went on for 14 months because of COVID. So that all these things contributed to the delay, unfortunately.
But now, before I get talking about, the specifics of the themes that season two has covered, your own character, I want to understand how are you seeing the response of season two?
Mm, how am I seeing it, matlab?
I mean, are you overwhelmed? Was it something that you expected, considering the fact season one was such a big success?
No, I don't think I would ever take it for granted that, like, just because season one was a success, season two will also be a success. Season two will be a success if it's a good season, you know. Um, and that's what we tried to do. That's partly why it took so long, because there is immense quality control
Yeah.
in the house of Tiger Baby and Excel, you know. So and I think whatever response is coming is a response primarily because of all the hard work that all of us, all an extremely large cast and crew of people have put in, you know.
Arjun, I want to talk to you specifically of your character, Karan. Now, even when season one reviews came, your character, and of course Tara's character, not just because they were seen as the main leads getting the other characters together, your character specifically because it represented the LGBTQI community. But when
Yeah.
you play a specific character like this, is there a fear from an actor perspective that maybe going forward I'll get typecast?
No, I got over that like mm, very long ago.
Hmm.
And even before Made in Heaven, I had played gay characters twice. I started my career
Hmm.
with by playing a gay character opposite Irfan Khan in Meera Nai's short film.
Hmm.
And then in Onir's film, I Am. So Made in Heaven was really the third. It was with Made in Heaven that maybe in the first meeting I had, not, I was just not afraid. I just didn't want to be repetitive as an actor,
Sure.
So, but as soon as I read the episodes, I knew that this was not being repetitive at all. And I was not going to let any other actor touch this part.
Okay, I want to talk to you about the various themes that season two has tried to dabble with. There is domestic violence that's been spoken about. There's, of course, the struggle of somebody who represents the LGBTQI community with their own family, like the kind of relationship you have with your mother in the series. There's a particular age gap that's shown in one particular
Mm.
episode. A lot of critics have said that the fear is that how do you ensure that the wedding planner's story does not overpower the story of those who are actually getting married? Do you think the season has been able to strike a perfect balance in that sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I do not think at all that the stories of the weddings and the brides and grooms are getting diluted in this season. In
Hmm.
fact, what I'm hearing more is that possibly that Karan and Tarya got a little bit diluted. but uh, but yeah, I mean, no. At the end of it, look, this is what the show is. The show is about this. This is what the show is about,
Hmm.
and you follow it, and you visit all these events and situations via the narratives of the main cast. You
Hmm.
know, so we're all there to play our part, and we all play it well. And yeah, I think everything contributes, and it's only when everything contributes correctly that it becomes a perfect melting pot of everything. You know.
Arjun, I want to understand what was that one aspect that drew you to the character of Karan? Like for me as a viewer who saw season one and binged on season two as well, I thought it was your vulnerability that resonated with a lot of people. His own strained relationship with his mother, his financial issues that he's to deal with while he's to ensure that everything goes smoothly. What was it that made you feel that this is something that I can do justice to when I bring it on screen?
I mean, for me, though, it will always and always be the character's arc and
Hmm.
journey. And yeah, I actually need to connect with the character's emotional journey, with
Hmm.
the inner journey, and that's what attracts me, to be honest. Yeah, and I don't know, when you sometimes, you just read something, if you connect with it strongly enough, if while reading something, I'm feeling something,
Hmm.
then I want to perform it and make everyone else feel it, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Is that an answer to your question?
So let me take on from what you're saying. There is there
Yeah.
is there is this certain section that seems to have said, and that is why I started. When I was asking you earlier that the lives of the wedding planners did it overtake the stories, because there was a certain section that feels that the entire series was reeking of privilege. Do you think that criticism is fair?
Reeking of privilege. I mean, don't you know that the show is about crazy rich people getting married? I
Hmm.
mean, anybody who's criticizing it that way, then don't watch it, because we
Hmm.
advertised that in our trailer of season one. It's just crazy rich people getting married. So of course there's privilege, and
Hmm.
that's what we. But what is the show doing? The show is actually like holding a mirror up to that privilege.
Hmm.
You know, it's holding a mirror up to the whatever misogyny and patriarchy and all our like traditions and just anything. All the crazy things we do.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, unfortunately, it is privileged people who do a lot of crazy things. So of course, that's what we're going to show.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the new cast that joined this season for someone like Mona Singh. I think she was fantastic in the
Spectacular.
series. Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you feel about the new cast that joined you this season?
amazing. I mean, first of all, Mona is a gem. I
Hmm.
love her. We all love her. And I think she was just the ultimate addition to, just as an energy to have on set. She's an amazing, amazing human. She's a great actor. And I think like Made in Heaven needed this. Needed someone like her, needed someone, what your previous question about the privilege.
Yeah.
Made in Heaven needed this character who does not come from that, you
Mm.
know, like Jazz is the other character in Made in Heaven who does not come from that, you know. Um, so yeah, I think she was an important addition, absolutely. And Trinetra, I mean, like, I don't
Oh,
even
I was
know.
just going to get to her. I think plus 100 to the team for actually going
Yeah,
forward and casting somebody from the trans community, because this
absolutely.
has been the biggest hurdle for people who come from that community, that until unless we
Yeah.
are not brought to the mainstream, the struggle will not be negated. So I want to understand the process again with Trinetra as well. How was it working with her? Again, she was somebody who was gave 100% as far as the character was concerned.
And she's a first time actor, she's
Yeah,
not an actor.
she's a
So
doctor.
it was, yeah, so it was pretty amazing. First of all, as you said, I was just absolutely thrilled when I learned that, oh my god, this is what we're doing. Okay, wow, that's like a leap forward. Whatever season 1 was, it's a leap forward. And whatever my character symbolized for the community, and let me be honest with you, look, um Karan really resonated and continues to resonate with the community, and I love that, and I'm here for it, you know. But that being said, I'm an actor, and I'm not necessarily the best voice
True.
to have on panels regarding the plights of the community. And, there are many more important voices out there that could do with the platform, that would have much more to contribute than I would, stronger voices than me. My contribution is my acting, you know. And I'm really happy that we have Trinetra because she can take forward that mantle from me, you know, someone who's actually from the community. And like, I can't wait to see her, because now I hope she gets called
Yeah.
onto all those panels and she has that platform, because yeah, that's where the change is starting now, you know.
Yeah, I agree. That as I said was something that really stood out for many who were watching, and we're hoping that this is now brought into the mainstream by other directors and casting agents as well.
Yeah,
I just want
yeah,
to go back to another aspect because as you rightly said that there was a disclaimer that this is about rich families, insanely rich families, but there is also a social messaging in almost each episode. I want to talk to you about one episode where, we see the episode of domestic violence, but the bride still wants to go forward with the wedding. We see tears in the eyes of the father when he's washing the feet of the groom. But by the end of the series, you see one small flash that she's in fact filed a case against him. How did the actors, those who were involved with the series, ensure to strike that balance, that social messaging, even if it's subtle, is brought out to have an impact?
uh I don't know. I feel like this question is much better posed to the writers, of course. But speaking about this particular instance which you mentioned, man, because I think that was a really hard hitting moment. Even when we had the screening now we had a screening before release
Sure.
where we screened 2 episodes in a theater. And when we came out of that theater, man, everybody was crying.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like everybody had tears in their eyes, and it was a really hard hitting episode. See,
Mm.
episode 2. I also watched it for the first time with that audience, and I was just as shaken as everyone else because, um, again, as actors, we know what's happening in the scenes which we are there for. There's a
True.
lot that we have no idea about. And I
Exactly.
personally, I like to not read too much else also, so that when I watch it, I actually get to. I mean, of course I know what I need to know for my character graph,
Sure.
but I like to keep myself in the dark about certain things which I can appreciate with the audience,
Mm.
and yeah, so I'm glad they did that actually, and didn't just leave it at here goes Ronald to her death,
Yeah.
in that marriage. But I'm glad they put that in, and gave that glimmer of hope there too. Yeah.
Arjun, I know we're short of time, but I want to ask you a couple of questions. I want to ask you one with your off-screen and on-screen bonding with Tara, because that seems to have been the big talking points in terms of how you've brought flesh to the characters, which there is a genuine sense of ease that you can see that you possibly have
Yeah,
off-screen as well.
yeah. I'll tell you, I'll be very honest. Shobhita will confirm this, that when we started season one, we did not start off on the best foot.
Usually
Yeah,
the
we did
best
not.
seasons actually start like that.
I suppose so. It did not. It was that we started off with a rough patch, and then all through season one, we just kind of kept going through it and going through it and whatever. Of course, we're both professional and like
Oh.
doing our work and getting along. But yeah, it was undeniable that we started off on the wrong foot a little bit.
Hmm.
Then I think as we were living those characters and Karan and Tara, like this, the closeness they share, how can you not start to
Yeah.
develop a closeness?
Hmm.
And then came season one release,
Hmm.
and both of us, I think, as actors, individuals, um, have such deep respect for these characters and this
Hmm.
show,
Hmm.
and for the love that public gives to Karan and Tara together, you
Yeah.
know. And I think both of us somewhere started feeling, yaar, public ko humse itna pyar hai, maybe we should also love each other a little bit. So I think that's how it went. And by the time we got to season two, I think like there's a genuine closeness, there's a genuine fondness. I now feel extremely protective actually of Sobhita, not Tara. Um, yeah, and I think it's really grown organically, beautifully, and I think it'll get even better if there's a third season.
You know what I really liked was the need dynamic of a platonic relationship. I think it's so understated in our country where a male and female is usually categorized in a romantic relationship. There is this one scene where they hug and you put your head on her lap. I thought it was beautiful because that's the kind of platonic relationship you would want to have with somebody you can count on. So Arjun, tell me, is there a season 3? Are you confirming a season 3 for our viewers?
No, I'm not confirming it. I have no idea. You can ask Zoya, Reema.
Acha, tell me your best moment from season 2 and what's next for you.
Best moment to have shot, or best moment to watch, or
Okay, are they different to have shot and to have watched?
I mean, I can't pick a moment to have watched. There's too much. There's just too much. But to have shot, I can tell you
Tell me.
that I think in both seasons, when I read the script, Sonina, I knew that there's always a scene. There's always that one scene
Hmm.
where where the entire character graph is kind of culminating.
Yeah.
You know, um, I remember when I read season one, that scene for me was the lunch table scene after he comes back from jail, where the media
Hmm.
comes to his house and his father stands up for him. And
Hmm.
I knew the first time I read it that this is the scene that I have to kill, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I did, you know. So yeah, and in season two again, I would say that the the scene in this season for me was definitely the episode 7 meeting with Nawab. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and it
Okay.
was very special. It was very special shooting that scene because and it was like I knew what I had to do in that
Hmm.
scene, but for me, there are actors I know who can like cry on cue, and
Sure.
in every take at the same moment that tear will drop and everything. I can't do that. With me, it's a hit and miss. Because I think I like just go so deep inside that the feeling sometimes stays inside and doesn't come out. Which is wrong.
Yeah.
So, but it happens. So this is the process. And I remember that day, Reema was shooting that scene,
Hmm.
and I remember reaching set in the morning. We were going to be shooting that scene at night, but
Okay.
I spoke to Reema in the morning and I told her that, you know what, I don't know how many times this will come, what is
Hmm.
required of me.
Hmm.
So my request is that do whatever you need to do to try and capture it in that first take.
Okay.
Just try your best.
Hmm.
Of course, I'll give you as many as you want, but just try to capture it in that first take because I can't guarantee it'll come again and again, and and we did that first take, and it was this slow trolley shot, the one that you see,
Hmm.
and then something happened. There was a technical glitch that happened in the middle of that take,
Okay.
and yeah, and then Rima came and she was like, and but I didn't know about that technical glitch while I was doing it.
Sure.
I was just doing the scene, and
Hmm.
then after I finished doing it, I was like, "Wow! I hope you got that," and and they were like, "Sorry, technical glitch, one
Oh
more,"
shit.
and I was like, "Oh no, no, no!" And but whatever. And then we did it a few times. I did it as
Hmm.
many times as was asked of me. But I knew कि जादू जो है वो पहले take में ही था. And that night when I rapped, I messaged Zoya immediately. I messaged her from the car and I told her that that first take, when you watch all this footage,
You'll
please
know.
just see that first take, and please, I would never do this. Of course, I will never try to interfere with
Sure.
how a director is deciding to cut
Sure.
their film or whatever. But that day I said to her, please, please, please try to just keep the whole scene in that first take because that is where the magic is.
Hmm.
And I was really happy to see that that is the take they kept,
Hmm.
because and the only time that you cut away from that slow track shot is a moment where the technical glitch happened, and they
Hmm.
just very smartly have cut away to Nawab's dialogue and then my reaction, and then the trolley shot carries back on
Hmm.
because the technical glitch happened and then it continued.
Okay.
So I was very thrilled that that's the take that is in the show, and yeah, yeah.
That's lovely. So, Arjun, what's next for you now?
Next, I'm actually currently in Melbourne for the world premiere of my next film, Lord Curzon Ki Haveli,
Hmm.
which we just premiered it last night and got a great response actually. So this is currently what I'm excited about. Yeah, aside from that, taking it a little slow. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm not one that rushes myself. I like to get on to things that I can really put my heart into, and they're a little rare.
Arjun, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure speaking to you. Appreciate you taking out the time despite all your hectic schedules, and hoping to speak to you soon.
Thank you, Ridhima. Lovely, lovely talking to you. Thank you.